Hi, good morning, and thanks for the quick introduction. I now have two great guests here on stage with me, one representative of a very established company and one representative of a very successful startup. So Oliver Tuszik is General Manager and Vice President of Cisco Germany. Welcome. And Harald Zapp is CEO of Relayr, who actually won the Code N contest last night. So congratulations again, Harald.
Thank you.
So what we would like to start off with is the motto of Code N this year is into the Internet of Things. And I actually had some problems to really grab that topic. So let's dive into it. What is the Internet of Things, Oliver?
Okay, there are many explanations for the Internet of Things, and we call it even the Internet of Everything, which is even broader and less specific. But I think we should look at this as one of the biggest opportunities we've seen in Germany, in Europe, in the world since the last Internet waves. The Internet of Things means we're connecting everything to the Internet. And the main target for this is to improve quality of life and to increase productivity or come up with complete new business models. Internet of Things means whatever could be connected will be connected. And the Internet of Things, especially for Germany, important, because here, right in Germany, we have not really participated in most of the Internet waves. If you look at the last Internet waves, it has been mainly American companies that came up. There was one Chinese company, Alibaba. But so far, there was not a 1 billion company that we have created. And the Internet of Things is a wave where you need to have an industry behind this. And this is the reason why you see a couple of established industry companies here that want to connect with new companies, because the Internet of Things will be the German Internet wave, and this is why we're all here.
Anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's Internet of Things, you're absolutely right. I mean, everything or every physical product in the near future will be connected to the Internet. And I mean, we learned everything you can digitalize will be digitalized. But for me, Internet of Things, and I mean, that's the motto here as well, into the Internet of Things is speed. It's all about speed. I mean, if we are recalling, I mean, smartphone industry, if we are recalling what happened in the amplification of the world, it's only 7 or 6 years ago, we never thought about what could be done on a smartphone in terms of creativity, brought to us by application developers, not actually by companies or predicted industries having something in mind. I mean, an open space for innovation brought to us a flexibility, new applications we never thought of, and agility and speed. So for me, Internet of Things, a big portion is speed. And here, I think we have to catch up in Germany, big time.
So you're a startup, you probably have some speed. Would you like to tell the audience what exactly you do with Relayr?
Yeah, what we're doing as Relayr is, I mean, we are the leading and award-winning, as we heard, platform as a service for the Internet of Things, and our motto is bring things to life. So we are actually connecting physical objects to our cloud platform and have developer tools on both sides for the hardware, as well for the SDKs, APIs, for the app developers, to actually build their dream in, let's say, in 10 minutes. You can start with an easy application, and if it comes to business, to consumer businesses, we just launched an innovation acceleration program, so we can bring things to a prototype in, let's say, 6 weeks. At least in 6 weeks, not a lot of talk, I mean, actually action. You can do in 6 weeks something you can show. And in the startup world, I mean, we heard a lot about minimal viable product. So, I mean, as I said, not talk a lot, I mean, do something. And that's our aim, accelerate ideas in the area of Internet of Things.
I know that Relayr also won a Cisco contest last year. What is it that's so special about Relayr and maybe other startups as well?
I think Harald brought up a couple of interesting things. Right now, Germany is leading in talking about the Internet of Things. We are by far the best in describing the opportunity. Our chancellor brings it up since ages, and there's no company that doesn't have a digitization member of the board or whatever. And what Relayr did, and not this year, a long time before already, they started, as you just said, to speed up the process, get something specific. So we're talking about connecting the unconnected, and you brought up with your Wunderbar a set of hardware, very simple, you can buy it everywhere, and you brought up the services platform behind this. So instead of working on the vision like most companies do right now, they delivered a product. And we in Cisco, we know we won't be able to bring up all the innovative products. We're a big company, but we can bring up the platform to support these kind of people, to deliver the applications. It's mainly about an application and platform game at the end, and help us to connect all of this. And relayr is, without any question, leading edge, and congratulations to the next award. I don't know which number it is, but
it's actually the third. Yeah, after the Cisco award, we had the DLG Focus Digital Star, and now we started the year here with the Codan Award. It was a really great appreciation. Yeah, I mean, I mentioned agility, but I mean, we started in mind building relayr actually to have the community element built into it. Yeah? So I talked a little bit about creativity, and we are actually looking for being a platform, a technology platform, to make it super easy for developers to build their dreams. I mean, for their personal dreams and maybe the dreams of the companies they are working for. But at least you need as well the exchange in the community. And right now, what we focused on is really heavily business to developers. So we have 2,000 developers right now on our platform working with our tools, giving us good feedback, looking at the documentation, and even enhance the product, building new APIs to new cloud-based other solutions. So we, in general, the product becomes richer and richer. And again, fast.
good.
What other startups do you work with, and how do you find them at Cisco?
Yeah, it's an interesting question, because as we have a huge discussion around digitization and Industry 4.0, we also have an incredible discussion about startups. There's no company that is not doing something for startups. And at the beginning, it was more about venture capital, so getting money into the startup. But I think what we are trying to do now is helping the startups, on the one hand side, on providing a platform, that there's a low entry level. So we provide platform systems and contacts. But the more important thing is we provide customers, because whatever startup needs customers to grow, to deliver solutions. And so our main focus right now is to look at the existing, mainly large companies, and what kind of support they need. We, for example, established an innovation center in Berlin called Open Berlin, which has the main idea to bring together the companies that need this innovation power and the companies that can deliver the innovation power. The problem of large companies is that they are challenged to completely reinvent themselves. And what we're seeing here with the Internet of Everything, digitization, is a complete new world. And fact is, established companies struggling to start this kind of change. So we need the power and support from startups or innovative companies, young and not young in regards of age, young in regards of the ideas and the will to make change happen. So Cisco is supporting this with, I don't know all the names of them. We're doing with Intel, we're doing it with Deutsche Telekom. We are investing in whatever area. So if you're interested, just search the web. You will find one of the great programs. But the more important thing is, you need to get in contact with the large companies. There's 1,600 leaders in the German Mittelstand, which needs this kind of innovation to be the leader in the future. And I give you the advice, connect with them, because then you will have the chance to get a customer that pays for your development.
Okay, so what's the relevance of IoT, especially for Cisco, and how many people work for that topic?
So, make it very simple. For Cisco, this is the #1 priority. The digitization of the whole world is our #1 priority. And especially when you ask about the amount of people, I would say approximately 70,000 people working on IoT. By accident, this is the amount of employees we have at Cisco. But everybody is on this track. Whatever we do, whatever we design, we think about digitizing the world. And we're investing heavily. I talked about Open Berlin. In Open Berlin, we invested 30 million. And just 2 weeks ago, we invested in France. So we signed a contract with the French government to invest 100 million in the digitization of France. Germany is, as usual, a bit slower, But once we get Germany started, I think Germany will be much bigger and more impactful. But it's very simple. The future for our business is the Internet of Everything, it's digitization. And when people in Germany talk about digitization, they mean the Internet of Everything, because the Internet of Everything provides them the data to make all this digitization meaningful. So it's at the end, Internet of Everything and big data. So for Cisco, #1 priority.
And you mentioned the German market is usually a bit slower, which we probably can all agree on. What are the leading markets for IoT from your point of view?
It's not that easy to spot this, but in general, I think, and we're talking about disruption. So when we're talking about changes, we're talking about a more disruptive approach. And if you're #1 in your market segment, which a lot of German companies are, and the German economy, despite all the discussions, it's a very healthy economy still. So we see the more faster and innovative investments in companies and countries which are not leading edge. So if you're #1, there's no reason to change. But if you're trying to get #1 and might be #4, you're ready to do some tough changes. And when you look in history, there's an interesting analysis done. Approximately of the top enterprise companies, within 10 years, 40% will no longer be there. And they will no longer be there, not because of mismanagement, or you can also still call it mismanaged, because they didn't spot the change early or were not able to make the change happen. Everybody loves to talk about Uber, but Uber is able to kill a whole industry. And there's other areas. Look at the old famous example of Kodak. Big company with a lot of people, a lot of patents, they just disappeared more or less. And because they didn't spot the change in time and were not able to change. So who's leading? Mainly areas and countries which need to catch up.
Okay, thank you very much. Harald, I know you have some business in the USA already and you have a very, very international team.
Yeah, no, actually, we have a very, very international team. We are Berlin-based. We are 30 people, and all these 30 people are dedicated to Internet of Things, obviously. And as I said, we have a large community on developers. So the crowd is working with us together as well. And I mean, this amount of developers will increase big time. And as you said, Lucy, I mean, we are about to do the big move, so to say. We are about to raise a Series A round, and the next step for us is go west to the US. Because, I mean, market adoption in terms of consumer adoption as well as the adoption of businesses. How friendly is the environment to work together with startups, and actually in engaging with startups and implementing new solutions, it's much, much friendlier in the US. I mean, that's still the fact. So they are in front running 1.5 years at least. I mean, we have seen this with social media and other technologies, telecommunication, as other things. They're jumping on things, they're trying things, there is no fear. And actually this mood, I do think we have to bring this back to Germany. And it's a little bit true what you said. I mean, their economies, they're leapfrogging. They're looking for catching up and said, listen, maybe we missed one pass, we're going straight to the next. And that's a little bit the challenge here for the digital transformation in Germany.
Yeah. Maybe let's come back to the big companies you work with at relayr, because you not only collaborate with Cisco, you also collaborate, for instance, with Bosch, Siemens Haushaltsgeräte. So how do you feel about working with these big companies?
Yeah, I feel great about. Because I mean, even here I was questioned a couple of times and said, how you actually got Bosch, Siemens Haushaltsgeräte to partner with you.
Exactly. How did you do it?
Exactly. And I mean, it was a compelling event because I mean, they're looking for some change internally as well. They looked for some innovation, and they thought about, I mean, how can I drive? I mean, CEO level, how can I drive innovation? Actually, can I do it internally, or can I use an external momentum, which is the Internet of Things, the disruptive technology and the disruptive move in the market. So something is going on. I mean, we have white appliances, washing machines, ovens, I mean, all this stuff is commodity. There's nothing new actually to it. And they try to enrich their offer. And I mean, that's one thing I have to say for the Internet of Things. is only connecting things to the cloud is one thing. The next thing, obviously, is actually the Internet of Services, and that's what the people like Bosch, Siemens, Haushaltsgeräte looking at. It's actually bringing new services to their customers. So each and any product company will become a service company soon, or out of the market.
Yeah, it's interesting. You might have seen the opening ceremony where the founder of Alibaba was talking about what is the new electric, which is the new oil. It's data. He was stating machines will run on data, and this is a little challenge for us in Germany because there's a trend, and Accenture is also bringing this up very crisp and clear, where at a certain time the data a product creates might be a higher value than the product. So it means you give your product for free because you want to have the data. And it's an interesting change. And this works much better in the US because there's a different view on data privacy, data protection. And I'm not saying we should take the US model, but we need a European model to help companies to work on data. There's so much data available right now, even without adding new sensors, that we don't use it in an appropriate way. And I've listened to some of the presentations, and everybody is bringing, or not everybody, a lot of companies bring up solutions on how to collect data and use it. And this is the big story about the Internet of Everything. It's getting the value out of data. And this is where we need also the knowledge on the industry we're in. So Cisco is a company who's great on collecting all the data, transporting it secure, computing it, bringing it into the cloud. But we are not the experts to tell Bosch what they should do with this data. So this is where we need new innovative ideas and companies to help these companies. And Bosch, not Bosch Siemens, the real Bosch.
The real Bosch, yeah.
It's an interesting example because they started, whoever thinks about Bosch thinks about a very German company, old-fashioned, you know the tools, but you know there's a lot in the cars. This is one of the most innovative companies you might imagine. About 4 years ago, or even 5 right now, they started to work on the Internet of Everything. And there was a statement some years ago where the CEO said, everything we're going to produce will be connected to the Internet. And they're now presenting drills, for example, that are connected with a wireless access to the Internet, that they can identify where they exactly are. And if they screw something, they can measure, is this the right torture they're using and things like this. So a company like Bosch is able to disrupt themselves, so others should be too.
Yeah, by the way, I mean, they're big, they're producing sensors in millions, So, I mean, there's a business model behind this as well.
They should.
Okay, maybe the last question for you, Harald. How do you meet these companies? I mean, one thing are competitions, but how do you get to talk to the right people?
First of all, I mean, we invested in sales. So we worked 2 years now on the platform to make the platform actually bulletproofed and robust. And as I said, I mean, sharing with the community and getting good feedback. And I mean, since actually this year, we invested in sales and business development, enriched the ecosystem together with Cisco's and other partners. And quite frank, I have to say, I mean, we are the funnel, I mean, which is actually the queue of sales opportunities, are huge. So we have two customer segments. One is startups, using our platform actually to bring their ideas, their product to minimal viable product level, which is maybe Kickstarter, Indiegogo. To get some customer validation, and the other one is actually the industry, looking for the digital transformation.
And maybe on the other hand, what do you look for in startups when you look at them?
Everybody who's interesting to make something happen, who wants to own a change, everybody who has a great idea and is looking for an environment to support them. So if you should have an idea on how to help us to make value out of data in the Internet of Everything, contact me, search for Open Berlin. We are ready to invest in Germany. As I said, we invested already 30 million. But I believe it's not only about the money. It's about helping you to meet your future customers and to create the next 1 billion company in Germany.
Sounds great. Thank you very much. Our time is already up. Thank you for being here, Oliver. Thank you for being here, Harald.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Get Started is up there with a booth. We're here today and tomorrow if anyone's interested in hearing what we do at BITKOM for startups and how we can help connecting your startup with someone like Oliver. Please come by. We're here for the rest of the week.
you.